Right now, a robbery is happening right behind your back, and the main robber is your own brain. 7 hours of your life have disappeared without a trace. No smooth transition into sleep, no memories. One second you are thinking about tomorrow, and the next, tomorrow is already here. But here's the crazy part. You've never once in your entire life noticed how it happens. Don't believe me? Try to remember the exact second your eyes closed and your mind turned off. You can't. There's a gap, emptiness. Your brain literally reached into your memory and wiped the footage. Why? Because if you saw what it does to you in that moment, you'd be terrified. Look at what happens just a few minutes before this blackout. Most people think falling asleep is like a light switch. Flip it and you're asleep. In reality, it's way more interesting. There's a secret phase. Psychologists call it hypnagogia, but really it's the moment your brain quietly starts dismantling your personality without your permission. First, it turns off your eyes. Not just because you close them. The visual center inside your skull simply stops processing external signals. You lose the visual feed from the inside. Next, sounds. The hum of the fridge or the traffic outside doesn't vanish. Your brain just renders it meaningless. And then your bodily sensations shut down. The weight of the blanket, the pillow, the cool air, all of it gets erased. And here's where it gets really crazy. While your senses are fading one by one, your hippocampus, your brain's main memory recorder, starts dying down too, like a phone screen right before the battery dies. By the time you actually drop off to sleep, the recording hasn't just stopped. The file doesn't exist at all. But ask yourself one question. Why would nature create such strict censorship? The answer will shock you. Your brain hides falling asleep from you because if you actually felt this process, your ancient, primitive brain would lose its mind. Think about it. What does losing control of your consciousness mean in real life? Losing your balance, a severe impact, poisoning. For an ancient human, any fading of consciousness while awake was a red alert. We're under attack. Flood the system with adrenaline. Fight! Picture our ancestors 200,000 years ago. A dark cave, wild beasts outside. If a hunter physically felt his legs going numb, his hearing going quiet, and his thoughts turning into mush, he'd think he ate a poisonous berry, or that something was terribly wrong. His brain would explode with anxiety every single night. The ancestors whose brains couldn't hide this transition couldn't sleep for hours. They lay there in panic, staring into the dark. And the next day, an exhausted hunter inevitably became prey on the open savanna. So evolution created the ultimate conspiracy. Only the humans whose brains learned to quietly turn off the camera before everything else shut down survived. You are a direct descendant of those surviving professional memory erasers. But sometimes, this ancient system glitches. The curtain pulls back just a bit, and for a second, you see what's really going on. Think back. Have you ever been right on the edge of sleep and suddenly, bam, a violent jerk shakes your body, your heart races, and it feels like you just fell off a cliff? That's a hypnic jerk. It's a pure reflex from your ancient ancestors. Your brain mixed up the sequence. It noticed your muscles going completely limp, freaked out thinking you were an ape falling out of a tree in your sleep, and zapped you with an electric pulse so you'd catch a branch. But there's a glitch even more terrifying. Sleep paralysis. Picture this. You open your eyes, you see your room, but you can't move a single finger, and on your chest or right beside your head, you feel something dark and heavy. In Japan, they call it kanashibari, bound in metal. In Egypt, a jinn on your chest. In ancient times, people blamed demons. In reality, it's an ancestral defense mechanism. To keep you from walking or running straight into the jaws of a nocturnal predator in your sleep, your brain paralyzes your muscles. But here, a glitch happened. Your mind woke up before your brain had time to remove the physical lock. You're looking at the raw, unfiltered mechanism of sleep. And the fact that sleep paralysis triggers the exact same primal fear in every human on Earth proves why your brain hides it every single night, to protect your sanity. Then there's a third glitch, sleep talking. Your logic center is already asleep, but ancient language zones are still firing off signals. So you blurt out gibberish about Kevin or bridges. Your brain is broadcasting like a radio station after the DJ left the room. But here's another mind-blowing fact almost no one knows about. Memory erasure doesn't start the exact second you fall asleep. It starts 15 minutes before that. While you're lying there with your eyes open, scrolling your feed or overthinking life, your hippocampus is already writing everything in faint pencil, not ink. Our ancestors used these 15 minutes to drift into a semi-drowsy state. They stopped recording minor environmental details to unload the brain before nightly recovery. This is exactly why you torture yourself every night wondering, did I lock the door? Did I turn off the stove? You did lock it. But you did it in the twilight zone. And by morning, the recording simply crumbled away. Talking to someone who's right about to pass out is like talking to a ghost. They'll agree to anything, but in the morning, they won't remember a single word. The brain has already started wiping the drive. By the way, you can actually hack this secret phase of blurred consciousness. The genius Thomas Edison used it to come up with his best inventions. He would fall asleep in a chair holding heavy steel balls over a metal pan. The second his mind slipped into hypnagogia, his fingers relaxed. The balls crashed down, waking him up. And he'd instantly write down brilliant, wild ideas before his ancient memory eraser could destroy them. But what if I told you there's a rare group of people who learned to literally hack this 300,000-year-old censorship system? They're called oneironauts, and the phenomenon itself is lucid dreaming. It's a state where you're inside a dream. Your body is completely shut down, but your mind clearly understands everything around me is an illusion created by my brain. Here's the main counterintuitive twist. For millions of years, evolution built safeguards to make sure you knocked out cold and remembered nothing. Early humans had to sleep like a log to survive. But these people found a backdoor, a secret loophole in our brain's ancient firmware. The method is called WILD, Wake-Initiated Lucid Dream. How does it work? A person lies down, completely relaxes their body, but holds their focus on a single thought, sound, or breath. Your ancient brain sends a standard ping to the body. Hey, are we asleep? Any predators around? Your muscles go limp. You don't move. The brain thinks the check is passed and triggers the evolutionary shutdown protocol. Dims hearing, turns off vision, and cuts off the hippocampus. But instead of slipping into darkness, the oneironaut's consciousness stays online. You physically feel the exact moment your brain has been hiding from your ancestors for hundreds of thousands of years. You see the desktop of your reality crumble. Surreal, hypnagogic imagery begins to form around you, and then, bam! You wake up standing right inside your own virtual world. You become the architect of your own reality. In a lucid dream, you can fly, walk through walls, or instantly warp the scenery. Your brain generates physics and sensations indistinguishable from real life. However, hacking this ancient program comes with a price. Scientists scanned the brains of people during lucid dreams and discovered something strange. In normal sleep, your prefrontal cortex, the hub for logic, self-awareness, and decision-making, is completely asleep. But in lucid dreamers, this area stays almost as active as it is during the day. And here's the catch. By fooling the ancient wipe system, you rob your brain of deep recovery. Your brain burns a massive amount of energy maintaining the illusion and controlling the dream. As a result, people who practice lucid dreaming too often wake up feeling completely drained, as if they spent the entire night hunting mammoths instead of sleeping. Then there's another trick your brain can play on you, even if you've never heard of lucid dreaming. Has this ever happened to you? Your alarm goes off, you wake up, get out of bed, walk to the bathroom, brush your teeth, get dressed, step outside, and suddenly realize with horror that you're still under the covers, and your alarm has been screaming for 10 minutes. These are called false awakenings. Your brain knows your morning routine so perfectly that it creates a 100% realistic simulation of your morning, just so you don't disturb its sleep. In that moment, your neural network runs a pre-recorded script. It feeds you an exact replica of your room, your toothbrush, even the cold water from the tap. You genuinely believe you've started your day. Why does the brain do this? It's all about deep exhaustion. Your body knows it's critically low on recovery time. But external triggers, noise, light, the alarm, are trying to yank you out of sleep. So your brain creates a brilliant psychological painkiller. It hands you a signed note saying you're already up just to buy a few more precious minutes in the deep cleaning phase. So what happens when this complex biological factory suddenly glitches in the middle of the night? Have you ever woken up around 3 a.m. and been hit by a wave of pure, irrational panic? A tiny issue you didn't even care about during the day suddenly feels like an end-of-the-world catastrophe at 3 a.m. It feels like your life is falling apart. The future is bleak, and there's no way out. Scientists call this the mind after midnight hypothesis. And it's yet another proof of why your brain must shut off your consciousness during sleep. The thing is, during the night, the chemical hormone balance inside your skull changes beyond recognition. Dopamine, the hormone of motivation and pleasure, drops to rock bottom. Serotonin, which stabilizes your mood, is down there too. But your amygdala, the ancient center for fear and anxiety, stays hypersensitive. At the same time, your prefrontal cortex, which acts as your common sense during the day saying, hey, relax, everything's fine, is fast asleep at night. As a result, if your consciousness accidentally wakes up during this biological valley, you're left face to face with the raw, unprotected survival instinct of a caveman. Your mind turns into a broken instrument. It exaggerates threats tenfold, paints the darkest scenarios, and keeps you tossing and turning in bed with an unexplainable sense of dread. Your daytime mind and your nighttime mind are literally two different people on two different sets of chemicals. And that's why one of the golden rules of neuroscience is never make life-changing decisions or dwell on the future between midnight and 6 a.m. Your nighttime brain is an exhausted, drunk, ancient hunter who's terrified of every shadow beyond the campfire. And this brings us to the ultimate secret. Why do we need all this insanely complex camouflage in the first place? Why shut down our consciousness, lock our muscles, wipe our memory, fake morning routines, and hide the nighttime chemical lab from us? The answer lies in physical biology that scientists only discovered very recently. While you're awake, every single neuron in your brain is running at max capacity. They burn energy, build connections, and process gigabytes of data. But in the process, they create neurotoxic waste, metabolic byproducts that clutter the space between cells. If this trash isn't cleared out, neural connections start breaking down. You lose focus, and your thinking turns into brain fog. During the day, while your consciousness is running, your brain simply doesn't have the bandwidth for a deep clean. All channels are busy, monitoring breathing, processing vision, maintaining balance, and reacting to the world. But as soon as your brain triggers the erase protocol and plunges you into the nightly blackout, something incredible happens. The glymphatic system kicks in. Your brain cells literally shrink in volume by about 60%. The space between them expands, and cerebrospinal fluid rushes in under high pressure. It literally flushes out your brain tissue, washing away all the accumulated toxins and waste from the day. Do you realize how profound this is? Sleep isn't just rest. Sleep is server maintenance on a supercomputer. If you stayed conscious while cerebrospinal fluid was power washing your neural pathways under pressure, you'd experience absolute sensory chaos. You'd hear the rush of your own blood vessels, feel your active thoughts disintegrating, and watch your brain aggressively sort through the day's memories, deciding what to archive and what to throw in the trash. It's like a massive construction site on a server room with millions of servers, where deep cleaning, software updates, and cable rewiring are all happening at once. To stop the user from crashing the system by pressing buttons during maintenance, the admin, your brain, simply locks the screen and unplug the keyboard. Evolution didn't create the memory eraser for no reason. Forgetting is the price you pay to keep your nervous system from burning out. Your brain hides the sleep sequence from you to protect you from yourself. So the next time you're lying in the dark and feel your thoughts getting weird and fuzzy, don't try to fight it. That's not just you relaxing. That's your brain starting its ancient cleanup protocol, getting ready to take out the trash in your head. Senses dim, the camera turns off, and in the next couple of minutes, without your knowledge, the screen will go completely black. You won't catch that moment. You never have. And that exact program from your ancient ancestors is what allows you to fully recover and wake up human every single morning. Hit the like button if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, caught a false awakening, or jerked awake while falling asleep, and drop a comment with the weirdest thought or song you've ever caught right before passing out. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next deep dive into the mysteries of the human mind. See you in the dark.